Just want to point out that if this video seems a little bit rambly and unscripted, it's because it is. Blue has thoroughly disappointed me. The Blue Yeti was a mic I got back in 2021. It's $150 Canadian if I can remember. May have raised it more because inflation and bullshit is just so rampant nowadays. But it is genuinely one of, if not the most commonly disappointing mics ever. So join me through this small journey as I talk about the goods, the bads, the really bads, and the what the fuck. Let's start with the goods. The goods are kind of limited, but here they are. Number one, for the most part, the layout is relatively simple. You have diagrams on everything, you have adjustment knobs, and you have a user guide that's about 5 pages and in 15 languages. The box does explain a lot, but it tends to just kind of throw stuff at you, like it isn't well planned. For example, we have this side, which is literally just the dictionary word for Yeti. And then we also have this side, which is a little better laid out, but it's still confusing to newbies. What I do like, however, is the fact that when it's in its stand and you haven't tried to put it back in its stand after taking it out, it's really nice and convenient. It's really heavy, which means it's not going to knock over in 2 milliseconds, but it's also just light enough that it's not like a back workout just to pick it up off your desk. I do appreciate how many condenser capsules they've put in there to have as many modes as possible, but again, you don't need to put that on the box. Okay, well that's pretty much all the goods I have. Now it's time to get to the bads. The first bad is that this is labeled as a beginner microphone, something that someone who's never used a microphone before should pick up and start using. That's a problem because beginner microphones, as many people have stated, is something that may potentially spark the rest of your career. So if it's a good microphone, then you have an idea and you have your spark. If it's a bad microphone, you give up pretty much entirely. So the fact that this microphone clips like crazy, even when adjusting all of the Windows settings physically possible, is really disappointing. I straight up had it at the lowest gain, at relatively low volumes on Windows, and still speaking a little louder than I'm speaking right now would clip the microphone out to hell. I found a thumb drive which had a whole bunch of... Oh, where's my camera? I found a thumb drive with, oh wait, where's my camera? It became such a problem that I just tried to roll with the punches and made my streaming very, very loud and yelly to compensate. And now that I have a mic that doesn't clip constantly, I've noticed myself not yelling as much in my streams. Maybe because it's a better quality microphone. And again, for $150, that may not seem like much to people who are used to working with like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 equipment on a daily, but for people who are just starting out and potentially don't even have a job, like for example, this was a birthday gift for me, it's a lot of money. So for something that's so expensive to have so many disappointments, it makes not a lot of sense and it's quite lame. Now that's the bad. Now we're gonna get to the really bad.
Oh my god, bro.
As I said, I've had the microphone for 2 years, and admittedly, I was not the gentlest with it. I could have improved, but I think the fact that this is even an issue at all is a problem. Here's the actual nugget itself right here, and I want you to listen to this. The literal chassis is loose. I don't even know how that's physically possible because there's no screws here, but somehow this metal outer, I guess, ring or something is literally loose, and that's what's causing that rattling noise. Reminder, I've only owned this for 2 years. And for the people who say that 2 years is a really long time, most of my viewers have done 2 years 6 to 7 times. Yeah, you've already gone through that much of your life. Congrats, have an existential crisis. But I feel like this is really just an underlying issue for the massive finale, the really, really bad. See that connector right there? That's a mini USB cable. Admittedly, this was bought when it was in 2021, but mini USB has basically been around since, I believe, the early 2000s, if not even before the 2000s. So the fact that mini USB is still on the Blue Yeti, their flagship microphone, well, I guess there's the Yeti X, which has like a different shape, but whatever, it's their flagship model compared to the Snowball, which they're still selling. The fact that it's still on there is disappointing in and of itself, but what's even more disappointing is the fact that, again, in 2 years, it has literally fallen apart completely to the point where if I dared to look at it the wrong way, it would disconnect and start glitching out. Here's an example of a 2-year-old connector that is in good condition. I have been just as rough with the Blue Yeti as I've been with my phone, and I've had it for about 2 to 3 years. Look at this connector here. There's a little wobble, but it stays connected the whole time. Now take a look at the Blue Yeti. Look at how wobbly that is. Look at that. It pulls out way too easy too. Like its own weight will pull it out, I believe. Just like that. And if you gently move it anywhere in that travel will disconnect the microphone completely, and you'll have to fiddle with it for about 30 minutes until you get it back. There was literally a running thing in my streams for a little bit where if it disconnected, it would be just a chant of Blue Yeti sucks, because they do. Looking online, this isn't even uncommon. People have had connector problems the entire time that Blue Yeti has been around, which makes it all the more disappointing considering the fact that they're marketing this as a beginner budget-friendly microphone when it's $150, and I have an example of a better mic for a third of the price. Not this one. This one's about 2/3 of the price, but it's also infinitely better, but you do need to know a little bit more about microphones to use it properly. This is an Amazon Coconut microphone that I got for $40, and with a little bit of EQ, it sounds better than the Blue Yeti. I found a thumb drive. It has an extremely tight-fitting USB-C, an audio port exactly like the Blue Yeti, although it is a little noisy. It's literally a built-in shock mount, and it has RGB in case that's your thing, which for me, it is. It's a little disappointing that you can't control it, but, you know, you take what you can. The fact that this is a third of the price and performs 3 times better is really, really sad. I'll be leaving a link to this in the description, by the way. Not an affiliate, by the way, so you don't have to worry about me getting money from your clicks, because that's just really stupid. And, who knows, maybe this will have problems too. I've noticed one thing, that you can't turn up the bitrate that it produces too high, or else it just starts absolutely freaking out. But aside from that, it's perfect. It genuinely gets its job done well, it's actually beginner friendly, and the fact that it's a third of the price and sounds 3 times as good is an issue, considering the fact that, once again, this is aimed at the, like, newbie first timers. Alright, so I think that's the end of my ramble. If you guys enjoyed it, consider checking out my main channels. Don't even like or subscribe to this one. Check out this channel, which is for streaming and for my music releases, which uses this as the streaming mic. And check out this channel, which is where all my skits and short films are made. I am currently in the middle of filming a giant short film project, though, so there's not going to be any uploads there. Bye, guys.